Chem 111 people. This is the new Canvas site for the online course. Um, it's a little confused because, boy, we are new at this and we're doing our absolute best. So if you go to the standard home page, this is going to be the opening page for both sections, E50A and E51A. You should all be in the same section for this course. The two lab sections are separate, and we'll get to that in a second. This first bit should give you pretty much everything you need. If you click here on the syllabus, it is going to download the most current version of the syllabus. That's going to change at this stage probably every day or so. So hopefully it'll, you know, sort itself out in the next couple of days. So once you got the syllabus, which gives you the schedule, you can go down here to Remind. Remind is a texting program. Please take and put the Remind app on your cell phone and your computer. It is by far the best way to contact me. So here, when you click on this Remind and you open Remind, you'll go straight into my class after you sign that up, and then you can take and you can email me anything you want. So, for example, if you need to email me a picture of what you're working on, which is one of the best things you can possibly do, is you can go to Remind. You can do a screenshot of whatever it is you're working on, or even pull your cell phone out and take a picture of what you're working on, whether or not it's the extra credit or whether or not it's a lab question or even a Sapling question. Sapling question, even the quizzes are not, they're not, prohibited in terms of things you can ask me. So feel free, send it to me. I'll get it back to you in a very, very short period of time. So that's Remind. Sign up. It's awesome. Once you've signed up for Remind, get the textbook. The textbook is the second edition of OpenStax. Once you've got it, you can just go here, view it online. You can download a PDF. You can actually purchase it. I think it's $55. Also, if you don't like this textbook, OpenStax, you can use any textbook you pretty much want for chemistry. Just follow the same table of contents in terms of the material. Chemistry books aren't that different. All right, so you've got the Remind, you've got the textbook Sapling, online learning. Now, if you have financial aid, you're going to want to buy this at the bookstore. They'll pay for it. If you don't have financial aid, it's cheaper to do it here. Once you've done this and you're going to create or log in account, do higher ed, etc., you're going to realize you're going to need a code. Your code is this section number, this E50A. All right. Now, help sessions. There will be help sessions probably every single night of the week, as well as during the day occasionally, and we'll decide that as a class as we go. Zoom is like Blackboard Collaborate, except a million times better. The invite for Zoom is here, and it just gives us our classroom that you're going to work in. So just click on that, download the Zoom app onto your computer as well. You can use it off of an iPad and just open the meeting. This is our classroom number, and I'll meet you there. Seriously, it's absolutely terrific. So that gives us the book, the syllabus, etc. Now, once we go back to the syllabus, let's go back down here to the syllabus. One of the other important things on the syllabus is the lab manual. We're big on free here. So the lab manual is a blog site. It doesn't matter if you have me or Professor Vanderson for lab, you are going to use this lab manual, which is right here. And it's just our blog site. And if you come into this site, it lists all of the experiments. The first one is the math review. Now note, I will be emailing you these as we go. The math review you can do at home. So as soon as you can, open this one up and start working on the math review. It just kind of gets you back into the, how do we do math and chemistry mode here. But the rest of the labs are here. Now, there will be no lab quizzes this summer. We're going to be doing like a pre-lab / lab notebook. We're going to get you those details probably in the next 24 hours. So at this point, you've got the basic stuff that you need. Now, make sure that you follow the college policy. All the online college policy is over here on the syllabus, and it tells you what the course description is, what the objectives are, gives you their opinion on the time expectation. You're going to need a fast computer. You're going to be able to have to download stuff. You don't have to print stuff out if you've got a touchscreen computer, but if you don't, you're going to need to print stuff out. The textbook here is wrong. Follow the one on the front page. They suggested the bookstore. It's cheaper if you can go straight through. This syllabus is probably already out of date. Lab attendance is mandatory. I get stuff turned around and graded very, very quickly. Again, if you ever have any questions, send me a message with remind. I'm very quick on that. There will be a penalty for late material unless you have permission from me, which means stay in touch and let me know what's going on. I understand that most of you have full-time jobs, and you're going to have set times you can do things like take the exam. So I'm very open-minded about that. Just keep me posted. So plagiarism, the biggest issue we have with plagiarism is on the labs. Make sure that you do your own lab calculations. There's also going to be a pre-lab portion. You need to do that in your own, not copy somebody else's. That will get you a 0 for the assignment. Exams. You're going to need to print out the exam pass for this course. It's right here. There are 5 proctored exams. One is an optional final. The optional final replaces your lowest exam score. All right. So you have to take them at the testing center. You can do it at a different college as long as they work with us. You would be securing an exam proctor on that one. You have to look through those details to figure it out. It's probably just easier to come up on a Saturday morning before lab and take your exam. If you need to do that, just let us know. Again, we understand the constraints of an online course. Are very much willing to work with you on all of this stuff. Online proctoring, ProctorU does not work for chemistry, so don't try. So those are the policies. There's some assignments here. Some of these are completely wrong. For example, these exams don't exist yet, but that's all a different story. We'll get stuff out as soon as we can. So I also, if you go back to the home page, this is just navigating. So how are you going to actually learn the material? To actually learn the material, I also put a secondary schedule here, kind of like this one, because I like tables. Could use some lines in this tables. It starts on Monday, by the way, because labs are Saturday and Sunday. Please notice the latest day to take exam 1 is the 1st of June. I'd like you to try to take it on the 29th, but I get that. That's a Wednesday. If you've got Professor Vanderson's lab and you need to take that exam first thing in the morning before lab, trust me, he understands. Same here with me. I'd like you to get exam 2 taken by the 8th, but I know you may not get it done, so the last day to take exam 2 is on the 15th. So just keep an eye on those as you go. Clearly, the course ends on the 29th, so it's the last day to take anything, including the optional final, and you can take both of those the same day. So back to homepage. All the material that you need is on the homepage and is in these chapters. So if you click here on Essential Ideas, Chapter 1, it tells you what sections we're going to be covering. It goes down here and it gives you all the course material. So our advice, you're going to have to figure out how you learn this, and we're serious on this one. You got a lot of resources and you need to figure out what helps you the most. So some people go straight to reading the book. That's awesome. Some people hate the book. Others want something to guide you through. I've got people who prefer the PowerPoints. It is all here. Every chapter has in it a study guide. The purpose of the study guide is to give you the basic topics that you're doing, as well as a space to take some notes on it. And then it gives you some problems that you would work through as you go through this chapter. Okay? Just a study guide. And you go, well, how do I know if I've got the right answers? Well, if you want to know if you've got the right answers, you go down here and it says Chapter 1 Study Guide, Selected Answers. Not all of them are on there. That'd be a bit obvious, but most of the major ones are. We have 2 sets of PowerPoints. One is sort of an abbreviated and one is an extended version. Extra credit. There's extra credit available for every single chapter. The best way to study for this course is to do the extra credit. So after you've gone through and gotten a basic idea, start looking at the extra credit. And then with every chapter, you have Sapling assignments. So you already have bought your Sapling. You know what you're doing there. Sapling has 2 parts to it for every chapter. It has homework and it has a quiz. The purpose of the homework is to teach you the material. So were I to be doing this, I would probably open up the book, skim through chapter one, go to chapter one, sapling, and start looking at it, because the sapling does not take off any points if you get the wrong answer. And it gives you hints and it tells you where to go. It is a studying, learning site. That you get full credit for this. Just work the problems until you get stuck. Now, when you get stuck, that is time to use Remind and to take a screenshot of where you're stuck and send it to me. When you're done with the homework, and you feel comfortable with the study guide, study guides are optional for you. You can start looking at the quizzes. Now, the quizzes, you have 3 attempts per question, and you will lose 5% of your points per wrong answer. So by the time you get to the quiz, you need to have a pretty good idea of what you're doing. So use the homework as a study aid to learn the material. Make sure you do the extra credit. By far the best way to make sure you own the stuff for the exam. Do the sapling quiz, realizing you're going to lose points if you make mistakes. So that is chapter one. So how are we going to help you learn the material? Well, we start out, if you go to the sections here at the top of each page, and it gives you the basic overview of what you need to know. The text here is linked, and then there are videos. So I have a lecture for every section that is what I consider relevant for the exam. And then there are other sites or other individuals who we've posted their lectures here or their videos on this, which are, I think, excellent. So go on to the next one when you're doing it. I'm a big fan of pictures. And so I've got this material in here. And again, I'm going to have my lecture and then other lectures on, what is a substance here. So if you're looking at materials and substances, et cetera, that's there. So back to the overview. How do you know you're ready to take your exam once you have finished? Now, exam one covers chapter 1 and 2. Exam 2 covers chapter 3 and 4. So if you want to know what to know for the exam, I have down here a what to know for exam 1. And so in it, it reminds you that because, of course, part of this exam is going to be multiple choice, there's going to be some matching on this, you need to know your vocab. So as you're working through, I would print this out and keep an eye on it. Memorize here these metric conversions. It tells you what you need to know. These are the temperature conversions you need to know. Be able to do conversions in dimensional analysis. Know the work of these particular guys. Know which polyatomics that you need to know. So it just kind of gives you a basic idea of the material that you need to know. The specifics in terms of questions I could ask you are going to be in the study guide and the extra credit. All right, so that goes through for all of the exams. Now, you will find a little bit later on today another module, and it will have course documents on it, and it will have notes that I've taken, other stuff that I have found interesting that might help, as well as sample exams for all of the chapters. So I think that's all I've got for you right now. I hope this helps. Hang in there. The key to this is to stay on top of it and contact me anytime you get stuck. All right, this is Catherine Burton signing out.